Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we dive into one of Australia's most perplexing, haunting, and emotionally shattering mysteries, a case that shook Melbourne, baffled investigators, divided experts, and left a family trapped between grief and unanswered questions. This is the story of Phoebe Handsjuk, a vibrant, artistic, emotionally complex 24-year-old woman whose life ended in a way so bizarre, so physically improbable, and so shrouded in contradictions that even seasoned detectives struggled to explain what really happened. On December 2, 2010, inside the luxury Balança apartment complex on St Kilda Road, a janitor made a discovery so disturbing it would echo across the nation. At the bottom of a garbage chute, on the floor of the building's compactor room, lay Phoebe's broken body, her blood smeared across the walls, her leg nearly severed, her injuries resembling those of someone thrown from a great height. But the trash chute opening she supposedly entered was narrow, high off the ground, and required a level of positioning and movement that forensic experts called highly unlikely without help. Phoebe was known for her beauty, her fiery independence, her love for art, music, animals, and deep emotional expression. But she also struggled, battling anxiety, depression, and alcohol abuse, often trying to regain control of her life while balancing love, heartbreak, and the pressure of being a free spirit in a structured world. On the night she died, her behavior was described as erratic but not hopeless. She had plans, dreams, and intentions that contradicted any assumption that she would willingly climb into a garbage chute. As police arrived, questions began immediately. How did she get into the chute? Why were there no fingerprints inside? Why were some of her belongings found neatly placed in the apartment? Why was the apartment's wine glass wiped clean? Why did the keycard log suggest she didn't exit through any other route? And why did investigators decide within hours that it was simply an accident, before any deep forensic examination had been completed? Security footage revealed that Phoebe entered the building earlier that day, but no camera ever captured her entering the waste room where the chute was located. Her boyfriend at the time, older, influential, wealthy, told police he last saw her alive in their 12th-floor apartment, unsteady from drinking, and that she must have climbed into the chute on her own. But Phoebe's family rejected this firmly, describing her as physically incapable of maneuvering herself into such a confined space, especially in her disoriented state. They believed someone placed her there. The chute door was shoulder height, heavy, and spring-loaded, requiring deliberation, strength, and coordination. Her jeans were around her knees, almost impossible for self-entry. The injuries on her hands didn't match someone pushing themselves into a small metal opening. Instead, experts said they resembled drag-like skin abrasions. Fire investigators stated that only a person extremely calm, sober, and intentional could position themselves into the chute without bracing and without leaving marks. Yet the apartment showed signs she had been preparing for dinner, candles lit, food arranged, a glass positioned near the sink. Her phone was found cracked, with multiple calls and texts unanswered. Her boots were neatly placed, suggesting she wasn't planning to go far. Blood traces in the apartment were explained away casually, though none of it aligned with the official timeline. Then came the elevator footage, a mysterious man repeatedly entering and exiting the lift near the time Phoebe died, pacing and behaving strangely. Police never publicly identified him. Even stranger, the CCTV system for the garbage room itself was conveniently not recording that day. Investigators initially treated the case with shocking simplicity, labeling Phoebe depressed, drunk, and suicidal, despite friends insisting she had plans the next day, a scheduled appointment, a haircut booking, and an upcoming family event she was excited for. She bought gifts. She made commitments. She talked about her future. Nothing aligned with the idea that she would crawl into a garbage chute and plunge 30 meters to her death in pitch-black darkness. Over time, forensic specialists, journalists, family-hired investigators, and coroners re-examined her case. Many stated openly, the physics didn't make sense. The angles didn't match. The position of her body suggested she tried to stand after landing, dragging herself across the floor, possibly alive for several minutes, alone and terrified, without anyone hearing her cries. The compactor machinery had been unplugged, which experts found suspicious. The chute's metal edges had no prints, no fabric traces, no signs of someone climbing voluntarily. The apartment building's keycard logs showed inconsistencies. Witness statements shifted, and the autopsy left countless questions unanswered. Phoebe's grandfather, a retired detective, fought relentlessly, insisting his granddaughter did not die by her own choice. Her grandmother described the case as an insult to common sense. Her mother and father stood publicly demanding justice, asking how a physically impossible scenario could be ruled an accident so quickly. Even a coroner later admitted that the circumstances were extraordinary. The public began to ask, was Phoebe unconscious before entering the chute? Was she placed there after an altercation? Was she manipulated or incapacitated? Was the scene staged? Or was someone influential being protected? Every theory had holes, yet the official conclusion remained unchanged. As the years passed, documentaries, podcasts, and crime analysts revisited the case, each time uncovering new inconsistencies. Experts compared her death to other chute cases around the world, all of which involved full-body force and multiple people, not a disoriented young woman alone. The question lingered in every retelling: if it was truly an accident, why did everything about the scene contradict the simplest explanation? Why did it look more like the result of someone eliminating a problem, and placing her somewhere they believed no one would question? And why, after so many inquiries, has no authority stepped forward to reinvestigate? Tonight, as we close this emotional journey, remember that Phoebe Handsjuk was not a mystery. She was a daughter, a partner, a sister, a friend, a young woman fighting for balance in a complicated life. Her story is not just a tragedy, it is a warning about assumptions, about rushed conclusions, about how easily truth can be buried when questions become inconvenient. Whether her death was an accident, a crime, or something deeper hidden behind power and oversight, one thing remains certain: the world still does not know what truly happened in that dark chute. And until someone comes forward, until the unanswered questions are faced honestly, and until justice is pursued without hesitation, Phoebe's story will remain one of Australia's most chilling, heartbreaking, and unresolved mysteries. This is her story, her truth still waiting to be found, and the darkness that swallowed her, hoping someday someone will finally step forward with the answers she deserved.